Hi, I'm Jonathan Ferguson. I'm one of the curators here at the Royal Armouries. I have another thing to show you I think you might be interested in. It's in this box here, actually two things and some accessories. This is a really nice cased pair, I'll take them both out at once, of Colt Navy revolvers, model of 1861, Navy, 36 caliber, and you'll be used to seeing these if you're collectors or in the movies. They're quite workaday things. They're usually worn completely clear of their bluing, of their finish. These are obviously in very, very good condition. In fact, at first glance, they almost look like reproductions, but they're much, much better made than that. So they're nice, shiny guns, great, but there's also a very important story that hangs on these as well. Firstly, just to run you through the details, this is what Colt offered as their top-end version of the pistol. Just like buying a car, you order it fully loaded with all the latest sat-nav and everything. Well, with this, you'd order it with the finest quality blue, and that is just, you can see yourself in this. Really high quality. Only people like Purdy's can really do this today. Colour case hardening here on the frame and the loading rod. It's that kind of oil slick finish. It looks quite nice. Knurling or checkering on the loading lever here to give you a bit better of a grip and mainly to look nice, I think. Finest quality walnut stocks or grips here. Really beautifully cut, polished. We've got the classic cylinder scene. Virtually all Colt revolvers of this period have a scene rolled onto the cylinder. Now, this one's rolled, and it's much, much more faint. This one has been hand engraved. So although this is a mass-produced object, the first mass-produced objects in history, as far as we know, were firearms, and Colt was at the forefront of that. Although it's mass-produced, details like this have all been done by hand, so it's a really nice crossover between the very first mass-produced industrial firearms and the sort of handcrafted version that's been made for hundreds of years before even this. Finally, we've got the back strap here and the front strap, trigger guard, same piece. They're brass, copper alloy, but they're silvered in this case, which is the only bit of wear that you can see on these really nice pieces. And it's on the back strap that the story comes in. So here we've got Mark Firth, Esquire, and it's actually presented by, from President, it actually says, from President of Colt's PFA MG Co., so Patented Firearms Manufacturing Company. So this is a personal gift to Mark Firth. Well, who's Mark Firth? Little known today, but he was the CEO, the director of Thomas Firth and Sons, a very important company of the day, based in Sheffield. So there's a sort of a UK and a Yorkshire connection here even. And they supplied all of the steel for Colt's revolvers. They were quite pioneering in that respect as well. Most contemporary firearms were made of iron, rather softer ferrous metal, but steel was the way forward. All firearms in future are going to be made from steel. So the barrels and the cylinders and a few other parts are made of actual proper British steel. And of course Colt had a factory in London for a few years as well, but this was international supply to America to make these, to make the bog standard version as well. And if you go to Sheffield General Cemetery, if you're in the UK, or in the north especially, you will actually see Mark Firth's huge Victorian monumental tomb. Shows just how wealthy and important he was and how big the Firth company was as well. We've got here a complete or nearly complete cased set for these Colt revolvers. Two revolvers. We've got a period little felt bag here with the label on it of copper percussion caps, which is crucial to how these guns work. We've got two nipple keys here for unscrewing the nipples on the back. of the cylinder, 6 of those. There where you put your caps, just like a cap gun. Carefully put that back. We've got the typical Colt patent bullet mould here, which opens up, and you can cast either round bullets or conical bullets, which were thought to be more or less effective depending on who you speak to, for different purposes. Also got here, it's in 2 halves, very carefully lift out the top half. This is actually a small box of cartridges, so made up paper cartridges containing the powder charge and the conical bullet. So just 1 cylinder's worth of cartridges in that one very delicate looking box. Put that back. Another set of caps here. Not all of this would necessarily have been in the case originally, but it's here now. We've got one of the compartments has a number of the little conical bullets, which are corroding, unfortunately, which is unavoidable with lead. It will just corrode. We have got spare cylinder, which is not original to the box, and has this pressed on by machine, so it's got a negative image, and under high pressure it just presses in this cylinder seam, which is actually the Navy seam, so naval combat, ships fighting each other. And then on the real pistols, the hand-finished pistols, that's much deeper and better engraved. Finally, we've got a very nice condition, Colt's patent marked copper sheet powder flask, also in fantastic condition, with its spring at the top there, in blued steel, copper alloy, everything else, basically. And finally, we've actually got the key. So that's how completed it is. We've even got the key for the case. So really nice case set. So really nice object from a technological standpoint, from a historical standpoint, and even a sort of social history standpoint as well. So these will be going on display, we hope, in the coming months. Currently they are in the National Firearms Centre